This is Combat365.tv. Like and subscribe for more hard-hitting combat sports content. Leon Edwards is the latest Brit to catapult themselves into the upper echelon of the UFC, moving one step closer to the welterweight title picture, thanks to his outstanding win over UFC veteran Donald Cerrone. Despite 5 straight wins for the 26-year-old Edwards heading into UFC Singapore, the British Jamaican was definitely lacking a high-profile win on his 15-3 record. So when the UFC matched Edwards up with Cowboy Cerrone, it was clear that the promotion were finally ready to pull the trigger on him. There's no denying Cerrone's accolades, a top performer for the past decade in both the WEC and UFC. In fact, the Cowboy is tied with Georges St. Pierre and Michael Bisping for the most wins in UFC history, currently sat at a mighty 20 victories. However, with just 1 win in his last 4, which included losses to Robbie Lawler and Darren Till, it was evident that Cerrone needed success just as much as Edwards. So did the fight live up to the hype? Not wanting to engage in a firefight with the often volatile Cerrone, Edwards used his evasive technique to frustrate his American opponent, drawing blood early on as well, cracking Cerrone with a knee to cause a cut above the eye. Cerrone tried numerous times to take down Edwards, but the Birmingham fighter used his superior size to frustrate Cowboy. In fact, that's exactly how we describe this fight for Cerrone. Frustrating. Tit for tat, Edwards may not possess the same amount of knockout ferocity, but his defensive ability and clinch work was more than enough to counteract the game of Cerrone. Naturally more of a lightweight fighter, the size difference played a huge part, as Cerrone struggled in almost every exchange inside the clinch, eating an unhealthy amount of elbows. It wasn't a complete shutout though, as Cerrone battled back later on in the fight, which prompted Edwards to sit back and counter-strike. Many did not expect Edwards and Cerrone to go the distance, especially as Cowboy hadn't been to the scorecard since his January 2015 win over Benson Henderson. But with any stat like that, you're bound to jinx it, and Edwards certainly did enough to secure the fight over 5 rounds, with the judges scoring the contest unanimously in favour of the Brit. All in all though, Singapore marked a mature performance for the former BAMMA champion, who now has 6 straight wins, an impressive feat which has largely gone unnoticed due to the sheer amount of talent at 170 pounds. Not one to rest on his laurels, Rocky immediately aimed his crosshairs at number 9 ranked welterweight Jorge Masvidal in his post-fight interview. The top of the division may be locked up with lineal champion Tyron Woodley slated to fight interim holder Colby Covington, with contenders Darren Till and Kamaru Usman hot on their tails. But if Edwards can keep the momentum rolling and score a win over a fighter in the top 10, then it wouldn't be surprising to see him in a title eliminator by the end of the year. But what do you think? Is Leon Edwards on a path straight to the top of the welterweight division? Let us know in the comments section below. He was one of the most popular and successful WWE superstars of all time, but was CM Punk's UFC career always destined to disappoint? Click the video on the left to find out. And don't forget to subscribe to Combat365.tv for more hard-hitting combat sports content.